We've seen today through one of the leading newspapers a very serious scandal coming out of the Department of Space, which is related to the ISRO. This relates to the allotment of about 70 megahertz of spectrum space to a private agency. Actually, it relates to that band of the spectrum which is very, very unique. And this is for the first time that allotment from this unique band within the spectrum is being allotted, which relates to the 2500 megahertz to 2690 megahertz, which is absolutely rare. A total available megahertz space is only about 190, I'm told, of which 150 is with the Department of Space. About 190 megahertz is all that is available in this band within the spectrum, and about 150 of that is with the Department of Space, and the scandal now relates to allotment of 70 megahertz of that 150, which is with the Department of Space. So we are talking about one band within the spectrum which is unique, which relates to 2500 to 2690 megahertz of band within the spectrum. And from that only 190 is available, of which 150 is with the Department of Space. If 150 is available with the Department of Space, the scandal relates to 70 which has been allotted by ISRO to a private firm. And that private firm is called Devas Communications, whose managing director, Mr. Chandrasekhar, Dr. Chandrasekhar, happens to be former scientific secretary to the ISRO. Now, just to put it in a perspective, although when we are talking of spectrum, we are talking of different color, just let us imagine the rainbow with different color codes for the different layers of space, the space, terrestrial space. Now, 2G is not comparable to the spectrum, this S band that we are talking about in this scandal. It is inferior. But in 2G, we were talking only of 4.4 megahertz. Suppose we assume for a minute that they are all comparable. They are not. They are definitely not. But if we are for a moment comparing it, 4.4 megahertz was in 2G spectrum allocation, which is being disputed whether it was first come, first serve or allocated, or priority was given or auctioned, whatever be it. 2G related only to 4.4 megahertz. And there we, from the CAG's report, understand the loss was maximum 1,76,000. All that is being disputed now. But the quantum of spectrum that we are talking about is only 4.4 megahertz. Let us assume that all of them relate to comparable spectrums. Now 3G related to or spoke of 15 megahertz. 2G was 4.4, 3G is 15 megahertz. Of course, slightly different spectral color. Where, because of media pressure, public pressure, by which CAG and everybody had highlighted the problem of 2G spectrum allocation, the 3G went for auction, and we all know that the country benefited by that auction to the extent that there was a revenue earning of 67,719 crores. We know that. So 2G, which was 4.4, sorry if it's a bit like a lesson, but then we are trying to put it in perspective to understand what this scandal which has just come out and its seriousness. So put it with me, please. So 4.4 was 2G, inferior, but then 3G was 15 megahertz. The one which we are talking about now, if you allow me the usage, is not even 4G, it will be 5G. It is such a unique spectral allocation which relates to the 2500 megahertz band, which is 2 GH, as they say, gigahertz space. And in that, if 70 megahertz have been allocated to a private user, and within that, let's be clear, recently BSNL and MTNL were allotted 20 megahertz. The charge now in the new scandal that we are talking about is 70 megahertz allocation to a private firm. BSNL and MTNL were both allocated from this unique spectral band at a cost of 12,487 crores. Whereas for this private operator, for this allocation of 70 megahertz, they've charged only 1,000 crores. I'm just trying to put it in perspective so that the seriousness of this scandal is understood. BSNL and MTNL, both of which are government-owned enterprises, received only 20 megahertz of this allocation for 12,487 crores of rupees. Whereas this private operator has got 70 megahertz at only 1,000 crores. As I said, I repeat, this is the first time this allocation is taking place for this spectral band, which is a very unique band, relates to a very high megahertz frequency. And in this, the allocation has been done quietly, without any public auctioning or without mentioning it in the public domain. And to a private operator, the CAG has come out with very, very clear observations about its concerns. So, and this was objected to even by the Space Commission in 2010. Why are we talking about it now? Because from 2011, from sometime middle of 2011, the commercial use of this by this private operator is going to commence. Therefore, it acquires a very severe, severity is attained by this matter. One, because the CAG has come out with it now, and also that this allocation has been done quietly in the private, to a private operator without any public information or auctioning process. Processes have been violated, and the loss is estimated to be somewhere, and this by the CAG, the loss is estimated to be somewhere in the range of 2 lakh crores. Now, what other benefit does this Devas communication get? Custom-made 2 communication satellites are going to be given, custom-made for this customer, and 10 transponders from these 2 satellites will be used by him for the commercial purposes. Therefore, it is a very serious indeed scandal. Department of Space, may I remind you all, comes directly under the Prime Minister. The BJP alleges that this whole affair is vitiated by fraud. This whole affair is vitiated by fraud, and as a result, this country is facing just not loss of revenue, but frittering away of very important and special national asset, which is a rare spectrum asset. And therefore, we demand that this agreement be nullified and recover that spectrum space which was given to this private user. Immediate recovery is demanded by us. Recover the spectrum which was allotted immediately. Second, we demand a comprehensive inquiry to establish the criminality in the whole matter. And third, we demand recovery of the lost revenue.